Hey, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and I'm just going to do this really quickly. I am part of a team that is reading and reviewing books for the self-published science fiction competition. And my team has 8 members. We were assigned 30 books in the first round, and we went through those 30 books. Well, actually, one of them was eliminated because it wasn't completely self-published. So anyway, we went through the 29 books that we had, and we read 10 to 20% of the books just to give us an idea of, yes, we would like to keep reading this book, or no, we would not like to keep reading this book. And we all voted. And then the 8 of us, we took the top 7 books that the 8 of us voted for, and now we're reading completely all 7 of those books. So this is the quarterfinal round, and I just wanted to introduce you to the 7 books, and then I will be coming back and doing an update, I guess, or just like a really small review video about each of the 7 books. So I'm going to do them in alphabetical order. I'm going to give them to you in alphabetical order, but I'm going to be reading them in shortest to longest order. I debated a bunch of different ways to read them, because at first I thought I wanted to do the one that I was the most excited for first, but then I was like, yeah, but then it'll be all downhill from there. So I wanted to save that one for last, but then at the same time, I didn't want to drag on trying to get to that one. And so anyway, I just could not come up with a way that I wanted to read them, and I decided I'm just going to go shortest to longest. Now, I will say this. Of the 7 books, there is one of them that I voted absolutely yes, I do want to read this book. Then there is one of them that I voted no, I do not want to read this book. I don't care anything about it, or I don't like the writing style. There was something about it that I voted no. The other ones in the middle, the other 5 books, were all maybes for me, which that was on my own thing over to the side. I put maybe or yes or no on my own sheet. And then when it came time to actually vote on them, I had to say yes or no. But I was voting yes on the top 10 books that I liked. And so my maybes even had like smiley faces next to them if it was a high maybe, or I put a little sad face if it was like a low maybe. Anyway, that was my own like note-taking system for how I did this. But anyway, so one of them was a firm yes, one was a firm no, and all the rest of them were maybes, which means I had no problem continuing on with all of them. So it's not like I'm dreading reading these books. I'm really excited about some of them. So let's talk about them. The book number 1 is the only one I don't think I can pronounce, and I think it's Aestus or Estes. I'm just not sure. This book is by S.Z. Atwell. I'm going to be looking down here to read just a second. It's an adult dystopian sci-fi series set centuries after climate change has ravaged much of Earth. An epic story of vengeance, power, shifting loyalties, and survival that looks at just how far people will go to protect what they love. So that is that book and what that one is about. I've not read any of these to completion, so I'm just talking about what they are. I have read the first 10% of each of these for sure, but that's no further than that. Okay, the second book is called Bloodlines by Peter Hartog. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is the first in a series as well, and this involves a detective. His name is Tom Doc Holliday. Anyway, he's recruited for special crimes. He wields insight, a fickle clairvoyance that allows him to see the dark and terrible things that hide upon this world. After all, when you live in Empire City, where magic and technology coexist and humanity endures behind walls of stone and spell-forged steel, anything is possible. So, that is the second book that I'm reading, Bloodlines. The book that has to have the best cover, like I love this cover so much. It's called Clowns. Also, it did not take me, before I started this book, when I was reading the 10%, I was like, oh, I'm going to vote no on this because it's got to be too scary for me to read. But I was not even 10% in, and I was fully hooked, and I was like, oh, I have to vote yes. Like definitely want to continue reading this book. And so I am really excited about what's happening to this. And the description of this in Goodreads is even further than I got, but it does say that humanity has had first contact with intelligent extraterrestrial species exploring the solar system, and it happened a long time ago, but only one man was involved, a clown named Buster. Since then, he's established a counterculture group called the Clowns that seek to radically overhaul society. So, I didn't even get that far in the book, and I was still hooked and ready to go. So I'm excited about this one, but at the same time, I am, of course, scared. I mean, this cover is terrifying to me. So we'll see. We'll see what happens for Clowns. The book that got the most yes votes from the people on our team is the next one, and it's called Derelict by Mark All. And the beginning line of like the synopsis says, if you find alien technology, don't turn it on. So I think we're on a ship that has found like a derelict ship or a ship that is broken down, and they approach it and they probably shouldn't, and they go inside and they probably shouldn't, and apparently they turn something on and they probably shouldn't. Django needed to be in this video by voice if he can't be in the video with his face. So anyway, that's Derelict. I'm excited to read it. Everybody except for one person voted yes on Derelict. Okay, the next book is called Hammer and Crucible by Cameron Cooper. And the beginning of this one, we meet like an old lady who is just straight up ninja. Like, she seems like she's going to be a great character to follow, and I cannot wait to go further with this one and find out what happens. I did read the synopsis, but again, when you start out reading a book and you're just reading the beginning of it, you don't get to a lot of things that the synopsis talks about. But anyway, this says the interstellar array, which links worlds together, wakes to find it has enemies. So I don't really know what that means. In the context of what I read and why I wanted to keep going with this book, I don't know. But anyway, we'll get there. I'm excited to read this one. I'm actually excited to read all of them in one way or another. They all seem to be different enough that it's not going to feel like I'm constantly reading the same book over and over. So let's look at the next one. The next book, and the one that I'm starting with because it's the shortest, is called Lottery to Haven by William G. This one is about a lottery that takes place on Earth. Earth is practically uninhabitable at this point. There are lots of people living on it, but the life expectancy is not very old because people die from the pollutants that are in the air. Turns out Django does want to be on camera and not just his voice. So just a second. Once again, Django and I are wearing matching hoodies. If you have not seen his hoodie, it's adorable. It's adorable. See? This little hoodie. There we go. Django got injured a few days ago, and so he's still recovering, I guess. Anyway, Lottery to Haven is about a lottery that takes place. There are trillionaires that want to get off country, off world, and go live in Haven, wherever that is in outer space. And for every trillionaire that pays for their way off of Earth, they do a lottery to bring a common person with them. And I'm guessing that our main character is going to be a lottery winner. Really? And so that's what we're getting the story of, is, I guess, her journey as she wins this lottery. I mean, I'm not sure. She might not win. I just feel like that's kind of what the title says, and that's what leads me to believe that she's going to. But anyway, this is going to be the first one that I read. Then the last one that the last one on our list is Shakedowners by Justin Woolley. There have been a couple of people on our team that have already read this one, and they said that it was really funny. It's like a space opera, but funny. So I am looking forward to seeing it. It does say some starship captains explore new worlds, seeking out new life and new civilizations. Some lead missions of discovery. Then there's Captain Iridius B. Franklin, someone who spent too long seeking out strange new bars, and new alien cocktails. So we'll see what the shakedowners are and what it ends up being. I thought that it was good in the little bit that I read before we did this next round. So that is it. That is our 7 books that we have to read completely, and we have until the end of January to finish these books. I have already started at the very beginning of Lottery to Haven right now, or I started in the middle of November. So I'm going to continue to read these, and as I finish them, I will record my thoughts about them and I will put up the review video. But all of these are self-published. All of them are on Amazon. Some of them are on Kindle Unlimited. So I highly recommend that you go and support these self-published authors by checking out their books, especially if they're on Kindle Unlimited and you have that. You know, it's not costing you anything extra to check out these books. So I will let you know more about them as I read them. But if you've read any of these or heard of any of these authors, I would love to know your thoughts on them and which one, from the brief description I gave you, which ones do you think would be your favorites? I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.